Learn how to crochet a baby hat with this classic baby hat crochet pattern. It's a quick and easy crochet baby hat pattern that's designed to fit a newborn baby, and it's perfect for a baby girl or a baby boy. We're going to get right to the video tutorial. The step-by-step written instructions for this pattern are available on my website for free, and there's a link to that free crochet baby hat pattern right below this video. I also have a matching baby blanket that goes perfectly with this hat. It's called my classic baby blanket crochet pattern, and there's a link to that free pattern and the video tutorial right below this video. All right. Let's learn how to crochet this adorable and beginner-friendly newborn baby hat crochet pattern step by step. For this pattern, you can use any size 4 medium and 100% acrylic yarn. For a hook size, use an H hook. We're going to start by making a magic circle. This is how I make a magic circle. I have another video showing how to make a magic circle step by step slowly, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below this video. To start round 1, we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to make 12 double crochet stitches into the magic circle. There's my first of 12 double crochet stitches. There's my second of 12. You go ahead and make 12 double crochet stitches into the magic circle and then come back to the video. I've just made 12 double crochet stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. In this pattern, chains never count as stitches. The chain 1 we made at the beginning of the round does not count. We're only counting our double crochet stitches. Now we're going to pull the end of the magic circle tight to close. To finish the round, we're going to work into the top of the first double crochet stitch made in the round, and we're going to slip stitch to join. Working into the top of this first double crochet stitch, slip stitch to join. This joining slip stitch never gets worked into and never gets counted as a stitch. At the end of round 1, my work measures 1.5 inches across. I'll be providing measurements throughout the pattern. If at any point your work is measuring differently, start again with a different hook size. To start round 2, we're going to chain 1. In this pattern, we're never going to turn our work. We're going to always continue working in the same direction. We are going to start by working into the very first stitch. This is the stitch that's attached to that chain 1 we just made, and it's the same stitch that we just slip stitched into. Into this first stitch, we're going to do 2 things. First thing we're going to do is single crochet. Now, still working into the same first stitch, we are going to double crochet. I've just made a single crochet and a double crochet in the first stitch. Now we're going to begin the repeat portion of the round, which is what we're going to be repeating all the way around. In the next stitch, we are going to single crochet and double crochet in the same stitch. Working in the next stitch, single crochet and double crochet. These are the steps we're going to be repeating all the way around. In the next stitch, single crochet, and double crochet in the same stitch. You go ahead and repeat single crochet and double crochet all the way around. I'm almost finished repeating those steps all the way around. I have one last stitch to work into. This stitch beside it is the joining slip stitch that joined the previous round, and we never work into that. Here's the last stitch. Nothing special happens. We're still completing those same steps. In the last stitch, single crochet and double crochet in the last stitch. We should have a total of 24 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and 24. To finish the round, we're going to slip stitch into the top of the first single crochet stitch. Working into the top of the first single crochet stitch made in the round, slip stitch to join. At the end of this round, your work should measure 2.25 inches across. To start round 3, we're going to chain 1. As a reminder, we're never going to turn. We're always working in the same direction. We're going to start by working into the very first stitch. This is a stitch attached to the chain, the one we just slip stitched into. Into this first stitch, we're going to be doing a number of things, all in the same stitch. The first thing we're going to do is single crochet. Now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and still working into this first stitch, we're going to make 2 double crochet stitches. There's my first of 2, make 1 more in the same stitch, and there's my second of 2. Now we're going to skip the next stitch. We are not working into the next stitch. Now we're going to begin the repeat portion of the round, which is what we'll be repeating all the way around. Start by working into the next stitch. This is the top of a single crochet stitch. Into this stitch, we're going to do a number of things. We're skipping the next stitch. In the next stitch, the first thing we're going to do is single crochet. Now we're going to chain 2 and still working into the same stitch we just single crocheted into. We're going to make 2 double crochet stitches. There's 1. And there's 2. The last part of our repeat is to skip the next stitch. We won't be working into the next stitch. These are the steps we're going to be repeating all the way around. After skipping the next stitch, we start the repeat again in the next stitch, which is the top of a single crochet stitch, and into that next stitch, single crochet, chain 2, and make 2 double crochet stitches in the same stitch. There's 1 and 2. And the final part of the repeat is to skip the next stitch. One more time together. Let's start the repeat again. In the next stitch, we are going to single crochet, chain 2, and make 2 double crochet stitches in the same stitch. final step in the repeat is to skip the next stitch. You go ahead and repeat those steps all the way around, and as you're nearing the end of the round, come back to the video. I'm almost finished repeating those steps all the way around. Here was my last repeat, which includes skipping the stitch. So there is my last repeat. And after that skip stitch, I now have 2 stitches left to work into. Here's my second last stitch, and here's my last stitch. Let's finish the round together. As part of the repeat, I skip that stitch. In the second last stitch, I will do the following: single crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet stitches all in the same stitch. And as part of the repeat instructions, we skip the last stitch. At the end of this round, you should have a total of 36 stitches. It may be easier to count this way, as every time we made those group of stitches, we made 3 stitches at a time, and we did that 12 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And 12 times 3 is 36. To finish the round, we're going to work into the top of the first single crochet stitch that we made in this round. Working into the top of this first single crochet stitch, we are going to slip stitch to join. It is absolutely okay if your work is curling a bit at this point. It may not lie completely flat, but for measuring purposes, if you can try to make it as flat as possible, that would be great. And when measuring, we want to measure at the furthest points, and we'll measure across. After round 3, my work is measuring 3.5 inches across. A quick note before we move on: every time we chain 2 in between making a single crochet and our first of 2 double crochet stitches. Every time we made these 2 chains, we created a chain 2 space that we're going to be working into on the next round. This is the space under the 2 chains and between the single crochet and double crochet stitches. And it's in these chain 2 spaces that we're going to be working into. At the end of round 3, we have a total of 12 chain 2 spaces. 4 rounds, 4 to 9, we are only going to be working into these chain 2 spaces. The only exception to this is when we go to join the round with a slip stitch. Otherwise, we're only working into chain 2 spaces. To start round 4, we're going to chain 1. We're going to go right into working into the first chain 2 space. Into this space, we are going to do a number of things. First thing we're going to do is working into this first chain 2 space, make a single crochet stitch, insert your hook into the chain 2 space, and single crochet. Now chain 2, and still working into this first chain 2 space, we're going to make 2 double crochet stitches. There's 1, still in the same space. Make our second of 2 double crochet stitches. Now we're going to begin the repeat portion of the round. We're going to be working into the next chain 2 space. Into this space, we are going to single crochet, chain 2, and make 2 double crochet stitches, all in the same space. And that's what we're going to be repeating all the way around. In the next chain 2 space, we are going to single crochet, chain 2, and make 2 double crochet stitches. There's 1, and 2. You go ahead and repeat the following all the way around. In the next chain 2 space, single crochet, chain 2, and make 2 double crochet stitches. You go ahead and repeat that all the way around and then come back to the video. I have worked in 11 chain 2 spaces so far. I have one last chain 2 space to work into. If you have any trouble seeing where the round starts compared to where it ends, you may find it helpful to place a stitch marker in the top of the first stitch made in each round. This way you can easily see when the round starts and ends. Nothing special happens at the end of the round. In this 12th chain 2 space, we're still repeating the same thing that we've been doing all the way around. Working in this last or 12th chain 2 space, I'm still doing the same thing, single crochet, chain 2, and then make 2 double crochet stitches. Once again, we should have a total of 36 stitches as we've made 3 stitches into each of the 12 chain 2 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for a total of 36 stitches. To finish the round, we're going to work into the stitch with the stitch marker here, the first stitch made in the round. So I'm going to remove my stitch marker. And this is the only time in the round that we work into tops of stitches. We're going to work into the top of this first single crochet stitch, and we're going to slip stitch to join. At the end of round 4, your work should measure 4.5 inches across, measured at the furthest points. For rounds 5 to 9, we are going to do the exact same thing and repeat round 4. Let's do it one more time together. Here is us doing round 5, which is repeating round 4. To start, we chain 1, working into the first chain 2 space. We are going to single crochet. If you find it helpful, this is where we should place our stitch marker. Here's my stitch marker in the top of the first stitch made in the round. Now we're going to chain 2. Still working in the first chain 2 space, make 2 double crochet stitches. And now in each chain 2 space all the way around, we are going to single crochet, chain 2, and make 2 double crochet stitches. We've now worked in the first 2 chain 2 spaces, and you're going to repeat what we just did in each chain 2 space all the way around. Here's the 12th chain 2 space, your last chain 2 space to work into. I've just finished working all the way around and into each of the 12 chain 2 spaces. At this point, my hat is starting to curl and get that hat shape, which is great, but it's curling in the wrong direction. It's curling towards me. We want the other side, the side with the tail, the back or inside or wrong side, to be on the wrong side and not the outside as it is here. All I'm going to do is fix my work so it curls in the right direction. I'm not turning my work, nothing else is changing. I'm still working in the same direction. We just want to make sure that the hat curls the way it's supposed to. Now the right side is on the outside and the wrong side is on the inside. Since we are working on round 5, which is a repeat of round 4, we have the exact same number of stitches and chain 2 spaces that we did at the end of round 4. To finish the round, we're going to slip stitch into this first stitch. I'm going to remove my marker, and we're going to work into the top of this first single crochet stitch made in the round, and we're going to slip stitch to join. So for rounds 5 to 9, you are repeating round 4. We just completed round 5. You go ahead and complete round 6, 7, 8, and 9, and after you complete round 9, come back to the video. I have just completed round 9. At this point, try to fold your hat as flat as possible so we can take measurements from the widest part at the bottom. After round 9, your work should measure 6 inches wide, and now measuring from the top to the bottom, 4.25 inches high. A quick note that if you want to increase the height of the hat, you can repeat round 4 any number of times. We're picking up right after joining round 9. So we've made a slip stitch into the first stitch. Now we're ready to start round 10. To begin round 10, we're going to chain 1. We are going to work into the first stitch. Same stitch we just slip stitched into this first stitch, single crochet. If you're finding it helpful to place a stitch marker in that first stitch, by all means. Now we're going to skip the 2 chains and the chain 2 space. We're not working into chains or chain 2 spaces in this round. We're going to go right into working into the next stitch. We're going to work into the top of the next stitch, which is the top of the first of 2 double crochet stitches. Into this next stitch, we're going to single crochet. We're skipping the 2 chains and the chain 2 space, working into the next stitch, single crochet. Now we're going to work into the top of the next stitch, which is the top of the second of 2 double crochet stitches. And we're going to single crochet, working in the next stitch, single crochet. Now we're going to work into the next stitch, which is the top of the single crochet stitch. Working into the top of this stitch, single crochet. Working in the next stitch, single crochet. As a recap, we've just single crocheted in the next 3 stitches. Now we're going to skip the 2 chains and the chain 2 space. We're not working into those. And we're going to begin the repeat portion of the round. We actually began it earlier, but I wanted to break it down into individual steps before going right into the repeat. We are going to work into the first of 2 double crochet stitches into the top, make our first of 3 single crochet stitches. Now we're going to work into the next stitch, the next double crochet, and single crochet in the top of that double crochet stitch. And then we'll work into the top of the single crochet and single crochet. We are single crocheting in the next 3 stitches. And this is the first part of what we'll be repeating all the way around. Working the top of this next stitch, make our first single crochet stitch. Working in the next stitch, single crochet. And working in the next stitch, single crochet. The last part of the repeat is to skip the 2 chains and the chain 2 space. And now we begin the repeat again. Single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Skipping those chains and chain 2 space. Now single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And now skip the 2 chains and the chain 2 space. These are the steps we're going to be repeating all the way around until there are 2 stitches left. you go ahead and repeat these steps all the way around until there's 2 stitches left, and as you're nearing the end of the round, come back to the video. I'm nearing the end of the round. I have one last repeat to do. I need to complete the repeat one more time, so I'm going to single crochet in these next 3 stitches and then skip these 2 chains in the chain 2 space. Here was my last repeat, so I'm continuing the same steps. Single crochet in the next stitch, in the next stitch, and the next stitch. And to complete that repeat, I skip these 2 chains and the chain 2 space. I've now completed the repeat all the way around, as I have 2 stitches left in the round. In these last 2 stitches, these are tops of double crochet stitches, we're going to make 1 single crochet stitch in each of these 2 stitches. Working in the second last stitch, single crochet, and working in the last stitch, single crochet. At the end of this round, you should have a total of 36 single crochet stitches. We're now going to slip stitch into this first stitch, so I'll remove my marker, and working into the top of this first single crochet stitch, slip stitch to join. Now we're ready to start round 11. To start round 11, we're going to chain 2. We're going to work into the first stitch, the stitch we just slip stitched into, and into this first stitch, double crochet. The rest of the round is very easy. We're simply going to make 1 double crochet stitch in each stitch all the way around. Working in the next stitch, double crochet. Then in the next stitch, make 1 double crochet stitch. And simply make 1 double crochet stitch in each stitch all the way around, and then come back to the video. I have now made 35 double crochet stitches. I have 1 last stitch to work into. Working into the last stitch, make your last double crochet stitch. You should now have 36 double crochet stitches. To finish the round, we're going to work into the top of this first double crochet stitch and slip stitch to join. Let's quickly measure our work. I'm going to rotate my hat here to do that. At this point, your hat should measure 6 inches wide and 5 inches high. To start round 12, which is the final round, we're going to chain 1. We're going to work into the first stitch and slip stitch. Working in this first stitch, slip stitch. Now we're going to work into the next stitch, and into this next stitch we're going to make 4 single crochet stitches all in the same stitch. Working in the next stitch, make 4 single crochet stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to skip the next stitch and begin the repeat portion of the round. Here's what we're going to be repeating all the way around. The first step in our repeat is in the next stitch to slip stitch. So we've skipped the next stitch, in the next stitch, slip stitch. Working in the next stitch, make 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The last part of the repeat is to skip the next stitch. These are the steps we're going to be repeating all the way around. Let's do it one more time together. Just to recap, As part of the last repeat, we just skip the next stitch. Working in the next stitch, we slip stitch. Working in the next stitch, make 4 single crochet stitches. There's 3 and 4. And then we skip the next stitch. You go ahead and repeat those steps all the way around. I'm almost finished repeating those steps all the way around. It looks like here I have 4 stitches left. However, this stitch here is part of the last repeat where we skip the next stitch. So I really only have 3 stitches left to work into. Nothing special happens. We're still repeating those same steps. Once again, as part of this repeat, I skip the next stitch. In the third last stitch, slip stitch. In the second last stitch, 4 single crochet stitches. And then we skip the last stitch. At the end of this round, you should have a total of 48 single crochet stitches. Or if it's easier to count by shells, because in each shell we had 4 single crochet stitches, you should have a total of 12 shells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. To finish the round, we're going to work into the first of 4 single crochet stitches that we made at the very start of this round. And we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch into the top of this stitch to join. Working into the top of the first single crochet stitch made in this round, slip stitch to join. Now we can fasten off our yarn, remove our hook. We're going to cut the yarn that's attached to our skein. I like to leave an approximate 8-inch tail. And now pull the end through the loop that was on your hook and pull tight. And now all that's left to do is with your yarn needle, weave in all your loose ends. And now you have a new classic baby hat. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoy making this baby hat. If you have any questions or if there's anything at all I can do to help, please let me know. If you enjoyed this tutorial, I'd be delighted if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you again and have a wonderful day.